So I wanted to make sure that people hear that out clear, and that just you are my sister, my brother, cousins. We're all one, and so I wanted to create that kind of an environment where we can come together, eat, love, support, especially the month of Ramadan. This month is a month of blessing. It's a month of giving back. It's a month of empathy. It's a month of love. It's a month of giving away to those who are unfortunate, and understand that from sunset to sundown, you're not even able to drink water. That means you have to know there's people who are out there who are not able to eat. Even though they want to eat, there's no food. But we're plus our fridges are filled with food. And so, we want people who, especially we trust and respect and elect, who are, want to hear from us, our stories, our issues. We can own that. We don't want nothing between us, like not media, not all those weird people who are saying all this weird things about us. No, I don't want that. I want to make sure that regardless that I create that environment for all of us, and also those of us who are sitting at higher level, who are working day and night to better our community, to know what's happening in our community. So I wanted to personally thank you so much for coming. Thank you for your time, Debbie. Welcome, my old friend. I met her when she was a mayor in Richfield. I think it was 2017. That's when we met. I love you. I love her. I love Rena. I love. We went to school together, by the way. I just remember. I just remember that we were in the same class. We were in the same class. I didn't forget you. We were in the same class with Christy Snyder. Yes. So let's first introduce. My name is Osido Shai. I'm a mother of three beautiful kids. My youngest is standing right there. And I just wanted to make sure that we create a relationship, a strategic partnership, opportunities for all of us.
Thank you very much for you coming. My name is AJ Warsame, and thank you for the patience. As a Somali, sometimes we used to so.
Somali time.
So I'm a father. I'm a girl of 4 kids, 3 boys and girl, and I live Minneapolis. I'm a member of the community, and thank you for you coming. Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Sheikh Abdullahi. I am Sheikh. Thank you for coming, and you are welcome again and again. His name is MB Abdibare, ABDIRE, and he will be back.
So I'm Angela Conley, and I'm also a mom of 4 beautiful children. And I'm the county commissioner for Hennepin County, representing District 4, so that's most of the city of Minneapolis. I've lived here all my life, love my city dearly, and I have been in this role now for, I think, 7.5 years. And on the board, I play a lot of different roles. I chair our health committee. Health is really important to me. And our Housing and Redevelopment Authority. And I think health and housing have a very intricate connection. And I'm happy to be here and I'm very appreciative of the invitation. So thank you for having us.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rena Moran. I'm also a mother. I'm a mother of 7 adult children. I have 4 sons and 3 daughters. I'm also a grandmother of 15 grandkids. That's right. That's right. I have a big family. I have a big family, and I am a Ramsey County Commissioner. I do know how to come across the river to show up, right? I don't know boundaries. I don't have boundaries. I do have boundaries, but I do not have geographic boundaries because how I see what we do is interconnected, whether you are in Hennepin County, Ramsey County, or Dakota County or something. I am a lot of my work. I'm a former state legislator. I spent 12 years in the Minnesota House of Representatives. health and human service, healthcare, housing. It's a lot of the work that I do. Children, child care, prevention is the things that I care a lot about. And I care about doing that in partnership with community. I've learned a long time ago that you can go far by yourself, but you can go even further with other people. And so I pride myself in being able to work in partnership with others. And I am up for re-election. I have served my 4 years as a Ramsey County Commissioner. So I represent the historical Rondo community in St. Paul, Frogtown, Midway, McAllister, a portion of downtown St. Paul, along with Highland Park. Yeah, that's my district. So it's good to be here.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Kevin Chavis. I live in the Whittier neighborhood of Minneapolis. I'm also running for Hennepin County Commissioner in District 3, which includes downtown Minneapolis, Southwest Minneapolis, and St. Louis Park. And let's see, talking about family, I have one son. He's 23.
Ooh, I didn't know that part.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know about my private life, but I'm a parent, was a single parent for quite a while. But he's doing great, as best as he can. My child has autism and oppositional defiant disorder. And so it's kind of difficult growing up and making sure he had the right schools, the right special ed teachers, et cetera. So that's why I think it's very important to consider where government is holistically, including our schools and our hospitals. So Hennepin County is super important and critical in making sure that life is affordable for people here. It's the social safety net for a lot of folks that are struggling to make a good life here. And I think that we need to continue to fight to make sure that the county continues to provide those services and that we can get the resources to help people, because I think that the cuts that we're seeing from the federal level are going to be devastating, and we need to continue to talk about how those cuts to billionaires are really adversely affecting our community. So I'm a big labor guy. Used to be an SEIU Local 26. Now I work at Hennepin County and AFSCME Local 34. So, and then as far as democracy and politics, I really believe in being involved in community. And I'm not running a campaign for myself. I believe in building a movement that continues going forward, because I plan on also helping other elected officials get elected this year and try to win back the House and Senate in Minnesota. I think it's super important, more than ever. Thank you.
Nice. I'm Hennepin County Commissioner Irene Fernando, but you can call me Commish. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm privileged to be the chair of the county board with Vice Chair Gotel here. I joined the county board the same year as Commissioner Conley over there in 2019. First and foremost, what's happening that is inhumane and unconstitutional must be stopped. I want to be very clear. It is heartbreaking the way in which our taxpayer-funded dollars are creating, our taxpayer-funded violence is reaching every single corner of our community and is affecting the country and the globe. Our federal government's decisions are rooted in hatred and greed, and I refuse, and Hennepin refuses, and Minnesota refuses, and Ramsey refuses to allow that hatred and greed to overcome the momentum that we've been able to build with one another. And so really appreciate the invitation and the desire for partnership, because shared humanity must prevail, and that will only take place when we come together, have discussions, really build relationships. And in the near term, the top priority for me is to ensure, and my colleagues, is to ensure that HCMC stays open. The hospital is too big of a resource to close. And for the health and well-being for our community, the entire state, we must ensure that the last public safety net hospital in the upper Midwest remains open. And so Hennepin County remains just with community to ensure that the services that we need continue. So thanks for inviting us.
Thank you, Debbie Gotel. I'm District 5 at Richfield, Bloomington, Eden Prairie, and a little bit of Minneapolis nowadays. So that's kind of the district that I have, and I'm glad my colleagues could make it here. Thanks. Sorry for my tardiness. I've got a tough schedule coming back from New York.
Thank you.
Yes, and I just want to say, for me, watching what happened in our community with Metro Surge was extremely painful, and it just brought out, I have to tell you, I was angry, and I'm still angry. I'm angry that they thought this was okay, that they thought they could get away with it, that we wouldn't rise up. And I just want to thank the folks in your community and all our communities who were rising up, who were fighting for their neighbors, and it had to be scary because some of you still had to go to work. Some of you stayed home, and some of you lost jobs. And I just want to say that we have been there before in these kinds of bridges when the mosque was hit by a bomb. I know that Bloomington came to your rescue. I know I talked to the police chief and everything. We were able to get some new security there to get cameras for the mosque. And now there are people patrolling there from your neighborhoods to make sure those folks are safe because we all care about our neighbors. And I just want to say that there are a lot of people who are hurting from this surge still. Your families, your people, your kiddos. We have resources. Before, we have come right to your mosques. We are prepared to do that again. We will come with resources so we can help you, so you don't have to try to come to us. We can come to you. We did it several times. I've had people come down to Bloomington and to Eden Prairie to do those kinds of outreach resources. I just want you to know that we're all here for you. So when things aren't going well, when things are hurting, when people need more resources, you should call us. You should say, Debbie, we're having these kinds of issues. Do you have some people who could come down and help you? Can we get a table together? And so thank you for reaching out to me because we've always had a partnership with our greater communities. And I'm glad that we're making sure that after all that's happened, all the challenges we faced in these last years, that we're coming together to make sure we're solidifying these great relationships and these partnerships. It means a lot to me to do that. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thanks, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. My name is Abdikarim Farah, also known as an AK, AK with no numbers. Pleasant to have you guys and to meet with you all. I can feel, tough schedule with the great leadership, but accepting this, iftar breaking, that means a lot to us. So thank you so very much. Along with that, you say it all, so I don't want to repeat it. But however, I just want to strengthen the relationship between, Ummah Vision and SCAC team, along with how we can bridge the gaps in between the leadership and the communities. Because of lack of communication and also lack of, misunderstanding the system when it comes to the community is what makes, the leaders frustrated. And at the same time, the citizen is frustrated. So there is a building gap that we need to breach it. So if we come together, like you guys mentioned, I think it's going to be a lot easier for the society and also the leadership for the greater cause and outcome for the, for you guys to better off your fellow citizens as well. So like Saida said, we don't need in between the leadership and the community. We don't need a middleman that, mistranslate or misinform the narratives. And at the same time, like you said, if there is an issue, that's why you guys elected. Yep. You guys know how to solve the problem. You know how the system works. And we're going to bring these issues to you. And when you have engagement for the community, you're going to come to us and we're going to, stand up on your side as well. So thank you so very much once and again and again and again. And at the same time, we cannot appreciate you enough, you guys, because of not only we as citizens here, but, greater good of coming to these great states and, establishing a lifestyle and, having, kids here. My daughter, she's military. And at the same time, I have 4 children. Hennepin County Medical Center. I've been working 15 and a half years. I was sitting part of the, Minnesota Department of Mediation. So I understand exactly what you guys are talking about. But what brought this level is because there is a gap in between the elected officials and the leadership in the society. So if we can, narrate that gap, I think the best of the best is going to outcome very soon. So welcome, everyone. Thank you so very much.
I know you go to school and she's looking at me like, what the heck are you doing? I know. That's how our kids are.
Hello, everyone. My name is Amran, and I'm a senior at Roosevelt Area High School from Ramsey County. And I did have a lot of like feelings, obviously, about what's going on. When you see things on the media, you see like you become so desensitized to these things, and but what you do know is that obviously it's a idea of morality. This is not okay, and so as someone like when seeing what my mom does and everything, like it basically makes me it makes me understand that like I can use my voice to fight against these issues, which kind of changed my direction in what I wanted to do. I originally wanted to go into healthcare, and after this whole experience, it changed my perspective on things, and I decided I wanted to become a lawyer to activate for.
And then a judge.
Yeah, it changed my whole like career path to become a lawyer instead, to advocate for my people and my community, and so I will choose just that, and that's why. Yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Thank you, Amrana. We have a lawyer here. Hello, everybody. My name is Mohammed Bulhan. I'm a community member. I'm also a sheikh. You could see my hat. I wear different hats. So I'm also a state employee. So I'm really honored to be part of these conversations, and the way I see it is like because of what happened, I think it changed, as Amran said, everybody's perspective. For the first time, I tried to become a delegate. I went to the caucus for the first time. So what happened is changing a lot of people's perspective. Like we don't want to sit, we want to be active citizens, all of us. I think, and that's why we are here. So how I view it, I'm kind of big vision person. So the way I see now, it's like first coming together, and then having a conversation, and then the second step I think is building partnerships, and I think the third step could be, having a way to, build on that, like tackling on issues, solving problems. I that's what I see, the vision I see, and I am hopeful that it will be fruitful. So nice talking to you, nice meeting all of you. Happy Eid. Assalamu alaikum.
Since you're the sheikh here, can you say a little bit about Eid celebration? I'm gonna put you on spot again.
Thank you. So
More about Ramadan.
So Eid, Islam has two festive seasons. One is after Ramadan. It's like people have been fasting 30 days, so people need to cheer up. And the second celebration, the second Eid, is after the pilgrimage. People do the pilgrimage, and then after that, people need to celebrate. So the concept here, Eid, it's not like we celebrate. It's like after you have achieved something, then you celebrate in life. That's how it shows you. It shows us that first you have to put the work, like first 30 days, and then you're rewarded.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah, that's why you gave me the mic. Yeah. So, in life, we only celebrate after we achieve. Somebody graduates, then there's celebration, right? In Islam, that's like first put the effort, and then you're rewarded in this life and also hereafter. So that's what Eid represents. I mean, I'm speaking from philosophical perspective. It also, Eid represents a community, coming together. It represents unity. It represents, giving. It's a season of, giving presents. It also represents family and community, taking for one another. So so that's what Eid represents. I don't want to, give you a speech on Eid, but that, but I think that's a very.
It's not my fault you wore the hat.
I think I tried. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Just want to add that for the whole year, we're just running around. And Eid is when, in 2 days, for a whole week, we go shopping. Show me your hands. She's celebrating already. Families are coming together, cousins are coming together. We are trying to figure out where are we gonna go. Should we go to Duluth for the weekend? You know, all families. So it's love and you know, all of that. So it's something that I just wanted to ask my sheikh here.
This gentleman introduce himself.
Oh, go ahead.
My name is Abdurrahman. I'm coming in the Riverside Cedar.
Cedar Riverside.
Yeah. And welcome.
Thank you for coming.
You're coming to welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, he's coming from Cedar Riverside community members, so he's one of the elders and also one of the Minnesota founders for the community as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I just want to ask, it's not an ask, but just your thoughts on some ideas that I had that I wanted to kind of, because this is an opportunity that I don't think I will have all of you sitting at the same time. And so it's an opportunity to ask some of the things that was in my mind. For example, like community engagement. When I say community, you're part of the community, so you know you're not excluded. And so you know, so I was just thinking about, especially asking my elected officials and a friend who's running about this. It's not questions, but kind of like your thoughts. So the first one is community engagement, and I want to ask, how can elected officials create more consistent and meaningful engagement with our community beyond events, ensuring our voices are included in the decision-making process? So I just wanted to start with my friend Angela.
So I want to just start by saying we do this work for you. You trust us to do this work. You elect us to do work with you. And I really believe that governance should be co-governance with community. And so outside, I'm glad you put the caveat outside of events, because I show up in the community all the time. I'm in my district all the time. But it's not just for community office hours. It's if I'm needed to show up, I think that's how we should show up. And I think you know that you're needed when community reaches out to you and feels comfortable enough to trust you that you will show up when you're needed. And so I think the best way that we do that is through tables like this. Or you should be able to pick up the phone and say, Commissioner Conley, there's a situation happening in my neighborhood, and we want you present to kind of brainstorm with us how we fix the problem. I think that's our primary job in this role, is to be connected with you to bring about good policy at the county where we're at, and establish ways too that you can be a part of that decision making that's formal. So the establishment of advisory councils, or letting you know when there's openings on councils that directly affect the jobs that we do. So that there's a formal way to do that. But I think just in these positions, we have to be available to our constituents. We have to be available to our constituencies when there's celebrations and when there's trouble, so we can brainstorm and navigate those together. I think that's just really important, that we show up for you when you need us, and then when maybe sometimes you don't. Might get sick of us sometimes, but we'll show up.
Yeah, well, thank you, Saida. We met through community engagement, right? We met that way. I think for me, community engagement is highly important. As a mother, it has always been important to me just to be aware and a part of the community. It was important to me because I have 4 sons, and I always lift up my 4 sons because, we live in a society where our Black young boys and men don't always get equal and value time for who they really are. And so for me, it has always is important that I show up, that I know my neighbors, people know me and know that I'm a part of the community. But also with being elected officials comes an additional responsibility of making sure that I'm showing up to hear from you, to learn from you, and to partner from you, and to partner with you. It's clear, I'm very clear that I do not know everything that everyone in every community needs. And it's not one model for everyone. And so I pride myself on just showing up, being a good listener, learning what the community needs and how to partner with the community. Right now in St. Paul, it's just so happened that as a Ramsey County Commissioner, one of the iftars that I attended was the Midwest Community Care, which is a new nonprofit organization that has just went through some renovations on University Avenue. And one of the things that, I learned from them, besides the beautiful community space that they have there, is that they're going to also have like community support services located within that building. And the first thing I thought is that Ramsey County, that's what we do. We do human services, whether that is financial assistance, whether that is mental health services, whether that is you need early childhood scholarships, or whatever that needs to be, is that I need to partner with the Somali community so that you can tell me what it is that you want and need in that community and how we can best coordinate that to happen instead of me doing that on my own. And so the community engagement piece for me is very important that happen, that I keep myself available to and for the community, and realizing that my job as an elected official is not for you to just show up for me, right, or invite me in, but find ways to invite myself in sometime too, so that I can know what and how to best serve the diverse communities that's in my district. And so I want you to know that I'm open to that. I expect that. I want you to show up. I want you to call me up and engage me in processes or educate me in what it is that's best for you and your community, and how you can work best, and how government can best work for you and serve you and partner with you. That's the role. I have a role. But I pride myself in believing that you also have a role, right? And that our role may not be the same, but we each have a role to create a strong partnership and to move our communities, our neighborhoods, in our county, and our state forward together. So
We should bring back the community cave. What was that thing we did last night? Do you remember? Circle?
The circle, it could be different things. Circle of community, circle of parents, circle of peace. It's lots of circles, right, that we can do, right, to engage people in. Thank you.
All right, perfect. Yeah. All right. So I thank you for the question. I think it's super important that we as elected officials, as people running campaigns, continue to engage with everyone in the community. And so I think that's critical to that we come together, resolve any concerns that folks have, and move forward together. I will say that during the whole Operation Surge, I really appreciated the fact that a lot of members of my community got involved in some of the Signal group chats. I think that's actually something Hennepin County could even get more involved with. For instance, you go to a library, you get your library card for the first time, you could be invited to your neighborhood Signal group, like a mutual aid group, because I think we're going to need more support for each other ongoing in the years coming ahead, because the world seems a little bit unstable right now, and I think that's super important.
Okay. Thank you so much. So it's iftar time.
Oh,
okay. We're gonna come back to continue the questions, but in the meantime, everyone can go ahead and. So the
members, friends of mine that convinced me to even run for office. I was reluctant. I've been actually looking for other people to potentially run. I knew a whole bunch of other people were going to run, but it was the courage of my friends who are Somalis who were like, no, you need to stand up. You need to step up. This is your moment. You've been working and organizing behind the scenes, and so I decided this would be the moment. So I'm trying to step up and support my community, support all the communities here in Hennepin County to see that government actually works and is for the people, of the people, by the people. So, and I think local democracy is where it's at. A lot of people don't pay attention to Hennepin County. Sometimes it's a coin flip as to who actually wins these races and local races. And people don't vote as much on county races as like a park board. And I think that we need to kind of elevate the work of the county and make sure that people understand how important this government agency is, and that it continues to get funded to assist folks in our community. So that's what I'm running for.
Yeah, community engagement means a lot of things because the community is very diverse. And I think we need to constantly be ensuring that all people, especially young people, are seeing themselves in the story of leadership and politics. And so a lot of that is going to be relationship building. I think that's a big aspect of it. In addition to showing up and what everybody else has said, government needs to deliver results. If we show up, and the outcomes don't shift, I would rather have outcome shift than somebody showing up every single time. So it's not an either or, but just sharing that listening in this format is one aspect of it, and then listening to the data and the feedback that is present in our outcomes and shifting those outcomes even when we're not asked is an important aspect of engagement, because just because you tell me something, but what if the data or what if your experience shows that there's an improvement that needs to occur? We shouldn't be waiting for the feedback. We should be trying to improve on the outcomes for everyday people through data, through equipping individuals. Government should be about expanding people's self-sufficiency and vibrancy and their own possibilities. This is not about a dependency situation. So I believe that good government should be growing jobs, not cutting jobs, should be growing salaries, not cutting them, should be expanding benefits, not shrinking them. And obviously we're under a particular regime at the moment that is not agreeing with that. And I believe that, we will endure.
Because I agree with everything my colleagues have said. I want to point out one thing that Angela said about we have a lot of boards and community input places like that. I think what we can do is invite you more to some of those boards, invite you when they're opening and say, we need to make sure your community is represented because you're going to learn some things here, but then you may have an idea of something to bring back to us because you were part of that conversation, right? And you're also part of the change that we make. And I mean, we take those advisory communities very seriously. And when they come back with something, we very often have put dollars, and I mean millions of dollars toward things that have really mattered. And then I also want to talk about the fact that when we're talking about a long-term relationship with you, you have my cell phone number, right? But there isn't any reason why anyone here can't have my cell phone number. So when there is something that you need to talk to us about, you just send us a text message and say, hey, when can you pop on a chat with me? I have something I need to discuss. The other thing is we can be more intentional of ourselves. I'm sure you group of leaders get together on a regular basis just to discuss the issues of the day or where you need to be or what needs to happen in your community or some of the issues you're facing. If every quarter or something I joined that meeting or one of us joined that meeting, we would be able to talk to each other, and we might just be sitting back and, hey, I've got an idea. We have a resource I bet you didn't know about. We can help dovetail ourselves in here and solve that problem for you. We're not going to if we're not at that table, right? So I have been at the tables down at the mosques at times, but I could be invited more. I think what happened to us in the pandemic is we lost those touches. And so I can't thank you enough for bringing your leadership here again. Thank you for being here. Thank you for inviting us here, because it's really going to matter when we move forward. So make sure you're inviting us around the table once in a while so that I can hear what's going on in your community. And I just need to be a listener. And then I need to say, hey, I think I got an idea that we can help you with. What do you think about it? Is that going to be helpful? I want you to tell me what's helpful. I can make suggestions, but it might not be the right ones for your community. And maybe you have better ideas. I'm willing to listen to all those kinds of ideas. I mean, we have all kinds of resources. I talked to a lot of your community about Elevate, which is the entrepreneurship. You folks are so entrepreneurial and successful. And we have ways to help you be more successful. And we want to share those things. But I bet there's a whole lot of people who don't even know about that, about free services to help you with your business, free lawyers, free accountants. There's a lot of things we give you. Free training for workforce development, free classes at colleges for some of our hard-to-employ people. We have lots of resources that people just need to hear about. And if we're at the table now and then, we can keep reminding you or saying, let's or maybe we need to develop a program that is specific to something that's really going to be great for your community. We'll know that if we're there. So I just invite you to go ahead and call. Yeah.
We agree with you all your ideas, and thank you so very much for pouring all those great thoughts into this table. Yes, we've been absent from your conversations and meetings and tables, but since we realized there has to be change from within the community, that's why we stood up. So today, as a coming together is the beginning. Staying together is going to be the progress, and working together is going to bring the success that we're looking for the society. So thank you so very much for coming here, guys. We appreciate it.
Well said.
Yeah.
And finally, I just want to say, I wish all you blessed years and months to come. In Islam, if you do a good deed, you're rewarded. Like now coming here, discussing about the public good and what benefits the community, you are rewarded of working towards goodness. So it's something that I just want to tell you that. But at the same time, you need to have the intention. The intentionality is the center of every good deed that someone strives to do. So thank you again, and I hope, as in Islam, your good deeds will be rewarded for showing up today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm gonna give you the mic so you can introduce yourself. But I just wanted to add that coming from the community's perspective in terms of the money issues we have, oftentimes the people who really understand the real issues that's happening in the community and how we can tackle that, because there's a culture, there's a religion, there's people need to trust you to be at the table, to be doing what is necessary, not necessary, but not just speaking on behalf of them, but representing them. That trust has to be there. And so I feel like all the things that you talk about, mostly being at the table, and the idea you talk about, there's a lot of seats and councils and commissioners that are bleeding for the community voices. I think it's one thing that from moving from tonight's, what we get from this table is that, we need to look into those and who we can send from the community to represent us, to be at those tables. Because I know we need, especially with violent prevention, with youth issues, with opioids, you name it. We have a lot of issue in terms of that. Depression is a big deal, especially with women and isolation and mental health and all of that. And we know that, when you're at the table, you're included. And so I think those are, one of the take out thing from here tonight, moving from here, is to figure out what seats are available, what councils are available, what committees are available, think tanks. What can we create to better the community? Because at the end of the day, he lives in Cedar Riverside. I live all the way from Circle Pine. I moved to Circle Pine. 5,000 people. All of them are, none of them that look like me. But at the same time, I am part of that community. I am, at their circles, at their tables, even though I don't look like, I live in that neighborhood. So we need to figure out from the community's perspective what are available and who is able to participate and that's something we can go from there. But I want you to first introduce yourself.
Thank you so much for the invite today. On behalf of Kevin, I'm here. My name is Ed Higgins. I'm a resident of Columbia Heights, and I just wanted to say what you to add on to what you were saying. We're at a time in history where we all need to work together more in order to get to our common goals, which is the basic needs that need to be met as a human, which is your safety, your food, your security, your family's mental being, mental health and being. And in order to get there, you have to, first of all, see who's ready to step up, see them in action, because words don't matter as much anymore. We've seen, in these last 3 months, we've seen mask off who people really are. And I've seen a lot of the people at this table out in the streets. And so I respect that, and I trust that more than somebody who's talked a lot the last couple of years and then was non-existent when fascism came to our door. So I think it's important for all of us to work together more, to come to a common ground. And we may not always agree, but to unify in a way that helps secure all of our families' safety and future. So thank you.
And I think most of the questions, I had only 3 questions. One was opportunity, partnerships, strategic partnership, and the other one was community engagement. I think you touched most of the questions, but I just wanted to ask you. We wanted to expand this table. Who do you think we should invite in terms of, like, in your circles? What councils, head of councils? Especially, I was thinking about maybe the violence prevention. There's a commissioners, there's a councils, I don't know. So, we want to have a more, bigger table where we wanted to invite those people. So in your ideas, how do we go about that? What cultures are missing? This is not only Somalis. Maybe I'm a Somali and I'm organizing, but this is for all of us. And we live in, let's say, in South Minneapolis. All of us live, all cultures, all people, and we want to make this table bigger to that. And so just the general ideas. I'm gonna give you back, and then you can go in circle. I love Columbia Heights, by the way.
Thank you. We have a great community there, and they really stepped up. There are many people that can be brought into the conversation. There's been a lot of gatekeeping in our society that has kept people out of certain rooms, right? And they don't have enough degrees, or they don't have the pedigree, or they haven't been in public service long enough. But we've found throughout our communities that there are so many people that have great ideas that when given the power to make their own decisions, to be self-starting and to take the initiative, they run with it. And so in that respect, I can think of many people. I can send you tons of phone numbers and get you connected to many people in our community.
I think that organizing is really important. And so something you mentioned about being in Circle Pines and being the only one there, but you're still organizing, and that's still your community. Before I ran for office, I was the chair of my neighborhood organization. And we were organizing to get people food. We were organizing to make sure people could stay in their houses and age in place. So it's thinking about who in your network is a like mind and can share or bring something that might be missing from the table. It doesn't always have to be the electeds. It could be your neighborhood groups. It could be the chairs of your neighborhood organizations. It could be an organization that is doing immigrant rights work, legal defense. Some folks who just represent different they're doing food work in the community in urban agriculture to make sure people have fresh food. But they're organized doing it. Those, to me, are the people that you want to be expanding the table to. And then additionally, so I represent an area of Hennepin County that's just the city of Minneapolis. And so I can think of your, city council members when you talk about violence prevention. I can think about, safety commissioners at the city. I could think about, the Office of Community Supports that Hennepin County has, and representatives from that, representatives from our public health department, right? But to me, the table is off balance when it's not, when it's just like government or when it's government heavy. I think it should be balanced with your elected leaders, but also the community organizers who are really doing the groundwork to make change happen. Because that's really how change happens, is the community on the ground doing the work. And that's what we've seen over the last few months. So more of that. And I think that's how we keep these tables or expand the tables further.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I definitely agree that the community has a huge role. I believe in power to the people, right? And I think sometimes people give up their power to others. But in the same sake, I'm going to flip this a little bit because I think as government, we have a role to make your lives better. Government has a role to make your lives better, and we can do that. But it's always better when we're doing it in partnership with community. So some of the things that I'm doing and that I think about is I like to be in rooms with people who have the power to give me what I want or what the community wants. So I think about like my county manager. I think she needs to be there. I chair Heading Home Ramsey County. Our continuum of care, housing is a big issue, right? We want to make sure that people are housed. We want the whole continuum of care from housing, supportive housing, stabilizing families to home ownership, the whole continuum. Having someone there for that. Looking at our financial system, entrepreneurs, having a collection of government people in leadership present. And then I think diversity is our strength. And so I think one of the most powerful moments that I've had was bringing together a group of community people when I was just a community member, right? And bringing diverse communities together around a common goal, right? And then collectively come together to have an axe, having an agenda, and we all working together collectively. And so for me, I just said, we have to talk later, Saida, right? Because that, and the leaders here about, you get to say to me who you think can best represent your voices and the issues that are impacting you at this time. Then when I go to the African American community, to the Black community, then to the Hmong community, then to the Asian, then to the Latina community, right? And just and begin to build a base of what we want. And actively fight for that in partnership with those who have the power to give you what you want. Because I do believe that we work for you, we work for the people, and with the active engagement that comes from the community that sometimes forces us to do the right thing, we can create the change that is needed. So I just want to say, as we think about this, because often in our diverse communities, we're getting better at it. We don't want to, we get uncomfortable being around government folks because we don't trust them. So I'm going to say, I get that, I hear you, but there's a need to get uncomfortable, to get comfortable. And know your role and know your place and know that you have the power to create the change that is needed. And so that's things that I work on. I'm doing it right now. And we got a lot of work to do. It's going to be tough times coming from this federal government. And we need to change that. We have to put our collective power together to do what needs to be done out here in these communities. So I look forward to doing that work.
Yeah, thank you. There is always a lot more work that could be done to expand these tables. It all depends on what you decide your collective goals are. But I'm also thinking there are different nonprofit organizations that are out there that you could reach out to. But I am all about the hyper local. I really think that change really happens at the super local level. A lot of ideas, like the neighborhood groups I look at as incubators of democracy because they can come up with new ideas. If they're funded, if neighborhoods have, if they're organizing. I'm thankful to live in Whittier, and the Whittier Alliance does a lot of great work. And they're building a lot of solidarity among all the communities in my neighborhood. It's a very diverse neighborhood. And they're working on housing. They're actually asking the neighborhood, what do you want to build on this empty lot? Instead of just waiting for a developer to come, they're actively engaging in the community to find out what do people actually want to have built here. Because too often, you have a developer coming in saying, oh, we're going to build this building here. And then the neighborhoods like decide, do we like it or not? And then it would be much better if we're proactive. So I'm just kind of thinking like, how can we all think proactively about how we can we build these relationships long term? And a lot of other folks that said things that I said before. I do think that as elected officials, we need to be pushed. We need by community. We need to be pushed to actually enact the change that folks want to see, and that takes active engagement. And sometimes that looks like pushing us to do more than we may be comfortable with, and that's okay. I think that's democracy, and that's and as elected officials, we have to listen and hear, and be willing to be vulnerable, and really wrestle with the conditions people are living with. And I think that sometimes people forget what people's lives are like and how they're greatly affected by government policies. And so we need to hear those stories and brought back, because if we don't know these stories, if we don't know what's happening, how can we make the change? So thank you all for inviting me here.
I think there's expanding tables for representation and for discussion, and I personally am very, very interested in accountability and results. So I share that because there's growing this table in a literal sense, and then there's also ensuring that you are aware of existing tables where decisions are probably happening or where strategies being shaped. So for example, I think it's next week or in 2 weeks, Hennepin County has funded Cities United to kind of come in for the last few years, which is about violence prevention. It's funny that Hennepin County is funding Cities United, but so much violence prevention occurs on the city level. Cities didn't have the funds. And so we, Hennepin, from a regional perspective, said we are going to fund this organization to come in. And so, for example, you mentioned violence prevention. There's bringing those implementation and strategic leaders here. And then there's also ensuring that we know enough about your key issues, that you are being informed of where those strategies are being shaped. So I think it's a mutuality in that regard. Healthcare, of course, is a big part of it. I know I've already talked about healthcare, but I'm going to keep talking about it. North Point Health and Wellness has its community, has a community board. At HCMC, one of the functions that we are incorporating in this stabilizing effort is to make sure that there's the funds, that the services continue, but that we get the governance right and we get community feedback right. And so we have not yet created what does that community kind of infrastructure look like to ensure that our hospital is accountable to the outcomes that is stated. And then, we should certainly be holding elected officials accountable financially. We need systems thinking on our financials. And commercial valuation is going down, services are getting more expensive, our taxes are coming back by way of violence instead of care and caregiving. And so it's not just through elections that accountability occurs, driving towards accountability and results.
So I'm going to go back to my life before I was even a mayor. I was an organizer. I don't know that I've ever shared that part of my life to me. So I was I was with Center for Community Change in Washington, D.C. I spent a lot of time there. I spent a lot of time in Chicago with Gamelia. And then I was, before even Isaiah was Isaiah, I was in Isaiah. And so I did a lot of community leadership. And one of the things I would advise you to do is you have a lot of wonderful religious leaders around this table. Invite some of your other brothers and sisters from your other religions to sit around this table. Okay? And let them have a conversation.
Previous event last week,
Okay.
we had the Christian pastors from different churches.
Well, a lot of those tables are open, so you can go visit them. You can visit our tables too. So go ahead and invite yourself in and visit those tables. Go to one of the Isaiah meetings, and you'll see a lot of pastors there, but you see a lot of community there too. And one of the things is you talk about how do we get to have our community not be so afraid of actually talking to one of our elected officials. Do you know that I actually still am called to go into Isaiah and I'm the public official, and I talk to them about how to approach me, how to have presence about me, and how to hold me accountable, right? And they get to practice in a safe space with a safe public official, And you have a lot of colleagues here that can do that, and you can set it up right in the front of a room with a whole bunch of people in there and have them watch how you talk to about a real issue. Yes, teach them how to have that. Okay, so you know where I'm at. So I really think that that's a really piece. But one of the things I want to caution you about, you have a lot of needs in your community. We have a lot of needs for our community. Pick one or two and go after it. Do not, be very intentional. When you have that intentional and then you organize around that intentionality, you will have success. I had a lot of success in Isaiah, and success feels good. When you do something really good, it feels good, right? And I've had a lot of those wins, and so it's meaningful to me too. And so, Isaiah still doesn't leave me alone today. They're still after me and meet with me, and I think that's a great thing. I'm very grateful for those folks because they're just wonderful people. And I started out cutting my teeth there, and that's why I landed here, because I was mad at the mayor, and I said I could do a better job than he could. I could at least return a phone call. He would not return my phone calls. And that's what happened.
That's her first reelection.
Oh Jesus, that's 20 years ago.
20.
So I unseated a 24-year incumbent Republican mayor. Wow. First Democrat. I was first Democrat. Yep. So, and I unseated a Republican again for county commissioner. And he'd been there 38 years.
A real fighter.
Yeah.
A real fighter.
You gotta teach me how to.
Oh yeah. Better watch your ankles. You know what I mean? That's my voice.
Yeah. Thank you. She's really impressive. I'm really admired of her. I'm already sold to her already. And the other thing that I want to say is that she reminded me of my class. I took community organizing class when I was in college, and then I remember a scenario that she said about building power and how to approach power. And then our professor, he gave us like a scenario, and then he acted like he's the boss, and he told one of us, get out of my office or something like that. And the person complied. And then at the end of that session, he said, you know what, now I exercise excessive power on you and you obeyed. That's wrong. You need to challenge power. From that day, then I learned the boundaries of power, and building power as well. She really reminded me of that, that class. So so thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. What a blessed night. And tomorrow is Eid celebration. Happy Eid to you all. I just wanted to end with this. If anyone has a comment, a question, but I think our time is past the Somali time, 30 minutes almost. 30 minutes almost. So just wanted to end with one thing you learned from tonight, and then I just wanted to. So the question, the answer you just gave me about also, being strategically, know exactly what you're going after. First of all, when we start this idea, I thought about, first of all, because we know we have a lot of issues, right? And so you need to first connect with the right people. When you know who's doing what, then you can come up with the ideas, because we have a lot under the table. There's a lot of issues that we want to work on, especially with youth prevention and youth issues. One of the ideas that I thought about it for a long time, Rena knows, is to build a recreation center for the Muslim and Somali youth, because to this day I don't even know how to swim, and there is a big deal for us to have a center that's specifically for the youth that are scattered around, that don't have safe place to go to exercise, and to have a community engagement projects, and to do leadership, and to do after school programs, and to do trainings and all of that. None of that exists in specifically for the Oromo and Somali youth. And so that's something that I've been thinking about for a while. We received pro bono with Mortensen Construction. I don't know if you know. So they did the whole preliminary design for us. So we're sitting with that. But it is especially when you think about it, like to be intentionally, first of all, you need to understand what is out there. Because you don't wanna do the same thing over and over. You don't. If there's other programs like that, because talking to you, you know what is out there. There is a lot of things out there. Who can we collaborate? We don't need to reinvent the wheel. What other groups are doing? Can we collaborate with the YMCA or whatever? Those are the things that we were thinking about. So that's behind, like it's here. But first we have to kind of like figure out who's out there. Who do we need to connect? How do we bring people together? Because everyone is talking about the Somali youth issues, the gangs, the violence, the opioids, the homelessness. All of it's beyond imagination. 10 years ago, none of us were talking about. Today it's crazy to even talk about it. And so someone got to do it, because I know that every mom is having almost 10, 7, 8, 9 kids, and they're in the neighborhoods. And if we don't do something about it, it's not going to only affect me. It's going to affect all of us. So it takes all of us to do something about this. But I just wanted to say thank you for coming. Thank you for your time. I truly appreciate, especially your time. Thank you, Rina. I love you. And thank you, Debbie, for bringing my sister, Irene, and Angela, and all of you. And your name again? Ed from Columbia Heights. Thank you for coming. And good luck to you, man. Good luck to you. I know that when I was running, was it 2020, 2019? I never thought about you, because you were organizer. You were out there organizing, questioning all of us about, you're running. What are you going to bring to the table? Who are you? Like, why do we have to elect you? All of that. And at one point, I was actually mad at you. I was like, you went to school with me, you know me better, and you asked me all the silly questions. But anyways, now I'm ready for you, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
One message from the community for you guys.
Yes.
And this is a sincere message. Not only you guys opened the doors for us as immigrants to this great nation, as mainstream, American citizens, but at the same time standing up, for the minorities in the community here, especially when the tough times comes.
Yeah.
Always we said, tough things happen, but tough people remain, for consistently. So what do you have done during this raid? ISIS came. It is what it is. Government, they have to do what they have to do. But we're looking for, like you said, they have to do what's right for the community and for society as well. But all those happiness, but what matters the most is for the great communities, mainstream stood up for what's right and for the communities as well. The communities, to be honest with you, I'm not sarcastic, I'm not making up. We are thankful and gratitude from the bottom of our hearts. What you have done, guys, the sacrifice day and night in this, tough weather. A lot of you missed the child works, elected officials came out of their offices because you have to do what's right. That's what leaders do. Along with that, another more, a lot of people, they cannot even comprehend during the Ramadan with this, tough weather in the greater Minnesota. Minnesota nice to offer. Mainstream, it doesn't matter whether it's a Caucasians or Black or Latinos or any people in between. They were guarding and also surveilling the, voluntarily, the mosques. Voluntarily, amazingly. That touched our hearts. So we would like to say thank you so very much, and God bless you guys. And that's why you're here tonight. You sacrifice your time and thoughts because you carried the community, because you understood what you've been elected and what you stood for, what you took oath for it. So we're going to be with you, and we're going to be on your side. And thank you so very much, guys. We truly appreciate it. God bless you guys.